Hello YouTube, FilmBuff06 here. Guess what today is? Not only Who Addicts Reviews second anniversary on YouTube, but it's also my 23rd birthday. Yes, yep. As I've just said, my age number has just regenerated today from 22 to 23. And in order to celebrate this momentous occasion, here is my special Q&A session. And this year I'm going to do something different. You know when I did a video like this last year, and I only answered some sets of questions that my fellow subscribers asked me on the comment section of one of my videos. I think it was my DVD collection update April 2014 video. But I am going to do the same thing only once this year. Not only that, but for the first time on this channel, I'm also going to be answering questions that my friends on Facebook have asked me as well. So, okay, with that said and done, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Now, the first set of questions come from my very good Welsh friend, Ethan Cronin, aka Ethan DJC, who's also got his own vlogs and animation channels now. Well done, mate. He's asked me 3 questions. Who are your inspirations for starting YouTube? Oh, very good question. My inspirations, I think, include the following: Who Addicts Reviews, Jeremy Johns, the guys from Spill.com, Chris Duckman, the Schmoes Know, Osden Putnam, the guys from What the Flick, Beyond the Trailer, also Siskel and Ebert, Mark Kermode, I think that's it, really. Now, favourite singer-songwriter. Wow, I think I would have to say Michael Jackson. Just just really one of the best entertainers and really pop stars the world has ever seen. He is just was just such an awesome singer. Now, least favourite singer-songwriter, 2 words, Justin Bieber. I mean, especially given the fact that he's turned into such an obnoxious, arrogant, egotistical, douchebag spoilt douchebag in recent years. I've never really liked any of his music. Well, to give him credit, I liked his old iconic Bieber haircut. But other than that, just did not like it. Just do not like any of his music. I don't know why I do not get why he's so popular these days. I mean, I just cannot believe the huge number of believers around the world who are willing to defend him to their deaths. Just nothing much I can say about the guy other than fuck him in the ass. And your third and last question to me, Ethan, is what are your expectations for Doctor Who Series 9? Firstly, that it doesn't end up like Series 6, a series that had so much potential but was completely shat on completely shat on at the last minute. Secondly, that Moffat doesn't find a way of cocking this up after having such a successful series with Series 8 last year. Thirdly, hopefully Clara leaving the show, probably during the finale, but probably won't happen because we all know Moffat just really loves to annoy us, and but this is only wishful thinking, and fourthly, hopefully by the time of the series finale, hopefully we can see the Doctor finally finding Gallifrey. So, and if so, just awesome. It would just bring that little story arc, full circle if that happens. So thank you for your questions, Ethan DJC. Thank you, Ethan. Now, Joe Malley, he asks these following questions. What is your favourite song? Oh, of all time? I don't really know. This is probably it's going to be a pretty hard question to answer, because there are just so many songs that I love. I can list from the top of my head. I like most of the Beatles' classic songs, like Yellow Submarine, Can't Buy Me Love, A Hard Day's Night, also Queen, also most of Queen's music, like Don't Stop Me Now, Bohemian Rhapsody, Under Pressure, We Will Rock You, and so on. This is a really, really tough question. So I just have to settle with songs like I think it's Thriller from Michael. I think I'd have to say Thriller, by Michael Jackson. Just such an iconic music video, such an iconic song, and it's just awesome. It's just really, really awesome. Who did you want to win the election? Oh, if you mean the general election, early this month. To be honest, I couldn't really call which party was going to win this year's election. But if anything, I would have loved to have seen Ed Miliband become the next Prime Minister, and thus Labour winning, and thus Labour being in government. But quite frankly, the people have spoken, and unfortunately they've put David Cameron and the Tories back in government for the next 5 years. Yeah. Just a sad state of affairs in terms of British politics, really. Do you prefer Family Guy or The Simpsons? Wow. I love both shows. I think for nostalgic reasons, I'd have to go with The Simpsons. I mean, sure, past series have never been as good, but still, but still, The Simpsons is still The Simpsons is such a hilarious show, fantastic animation, a ridiculously iconic array of characters like Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, Maggie, Mr. Burns, Smithers, Principal Skinner, Groundskeeper Willie, Milhouse, Dr. Hibbert, Reverend Lovejoy, who else? Krusty the Clown, Sideshow Bob, Ned Flanders, Mrs. Krabappel. Just, it is just a really iconic, very, very memorable show. Probably the more memorable of the two, in my opinion. So, next, what cancelled TV show would you most like to return? Wow. I would love to say the Sarah Jane Adventures, but we all know that's not going to happen due to Elizabeth Sladen's due to the untimely passing of Elizabeth Sladen. But in all seriousness, even though I haven't seen it, but I am planning to review this show in the very near future, I'd have to go for the ridiculously underrated gem of a show that is Joss Whedon's Firefly. Right. Least favourite film of the past 5 years. Wow. In terms of animated films, so far it's the first Planes movie. Not really that fussed about the sequel, Planes, Fire and Rescue, that was released last year. Probably Transformers Age of Extinction. Yeah. And I think you all know my feelings on that god-awful franchise. And especially the guy who directed these movies. And finally, who is your favourite actor to be James Bond? Well, it's a tie, really, between Sean Connery and Daniel Craig, in my honest opinion. Yeah. Thank you very much, Joe, for your questions. Next, we come to Ryan Anthony, aka Dr. Sherlock. And he asks the following questions, which I'm going to to answer in no particular order. Favourite Doctor. Despite Peter Capaldi being such a brilliant Doctor, and having had his first full season, his first full series last year with Series 8, I'm going to stick by my guns. I'm going to stick to my guns and at the moment and say David Tennant. Now, a Cornetto trilogy film ranking. Haven't quite seen The World's End, but if I did, I'd rank the World's End at number 3. At number 2 would be Shaun of the Dead, which means that at number 1 it will definitely be Hot Fuzz. Now, best actor, well, if you mean favourite actor of all time, it's Robert De Niro. Favourite film, a tie between The Godfather Parts 1 and 2. If you could create a Doctor Who monster, what would it be? Wow. Well, the Doctor Who monster that I'd create would probably be one that would not only use its bare hands, but also its mind to choke people to death. You know, almost similar to Darth Vader from the original Star Wars trilogy in terms of ruthlessness as well. In terms of what I could call this monster, forgive me if this sounds like a pretty lame name for a monster, but I would call it the Mind Choke. I'm sorry if that sounds pretty lame, but that's just all I could come up with. That's just the only name I could come up with at the moment. So, and most anticipated film of this year, it's a no-brainer. Star Wars The Force Awakens, because it's Star Wars. It's frickin' Star Wars. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Now, Reese Marshall now, who you guys in the YouTube community might know as Gallifrey Forever 97. He asks, how did your channel start? Well, I always wanted to voice my thoughts on the latest movies, TV. Also wanted to express my love of movies, of said movies and TV, and especially Doctor Who. And I remember back in back in, I think, May 2013, when for my 21st birthday, I got an official ticket for me and my dad to go to the special Doctor Who 50th anniversary prom at the Royal Albert Hall, and it was Mr. TARDIS 11 actually who suggested to me that I make a video where I reviewed my experience of watching the proms, and that, of course, to quote Don Vito Corleone from The Godfather, it was just an offer that I just couldn't refuse. So, that I just couldn't refuse. And with the experience fresh in my mind at that time, I just reviewed it unscripted, right on the spot. So, and you know, and the rest is history, from there on in. So really, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. TARDIS 11 for allowing me for giving me the opportunity to officially start this channel. I'm eternally grateful for that. So, thank you, Reese. And finally, David Banks, aka Labyrinth 35, and he asked, and he has given me another set of questions. I've already answered who my favourite Doctor is, so I'm gonna skip that. Favourite companion, Sarah Jane Smith. Most anticipated movie of 2016. That's going to be pretty hard. That's going to be pretty hard to say, but if I have to pick one film, I'd go with the very first Star Wars anthology film, Rogue One, that isn't due to come out until next December. So yeah, so Star Wars Rogue One. Favourite movie franchise? I don't know. There are such... I mean, I just love all sorts of movie franchises. I like Batman, Spider-Man, most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Harry Potter, James Bond, Star Wars. I'll probably have to go with James Bond. I'd probably have to say James Bond. Now, favourite Star Wars character? It has to be Darth Vader, hasn't it? Just one of the best villains in movie history. Just just such an awesome character, and just such a badass, awesome character. So, and yeah. And finally, favourite movie villain. I would probably have to say the Joker, as portrayed by Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. Because Ledger's performance is actually the one that sort of inspired me to want to take up method acting, that wanted me to take the world of acting very, very seriously. So, and as for his take on the Joker, I mean, just very iconic, very, very terrifying, and very, very terrifying. He's got some of the best lines in the film. He steals every scene. He steals every single scene from his co-stars, including Christian Bale, Gary Oldman, and Aaron Eckhart. And just such a great villain. He really is. And in the words of Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins, Heath Ledger's incarnation of the Joker, it has really become something else entirely. Just a legend. So, and that's my special Q&A session for this year over and done with. So, I hope I've answered all of your questions as clearly and coherently as I possibly can. Stay tuned for my next video, which is going to be uploaded later tonight, and it's going to be my special birthday collection update video for this year. Stay tuned for that, and until then, do take care, everyone. Feel free to wish me a very, very happy birthday today, and see you later tonight.